Get through, and let's begin this week with New Zealand, home of the planet's most worthless bird. You are nothing. Look at me. You are nothing. The ruling party of New Zealand has been at the centre of a ridiculous court case this week.
The High Court in Wellington has today been filled with the sounds of bad boy American rapper Eminem. The hip-hop heavyweights accused the National Party of ripping off one of his biggest hits for an election campaign ad.
Here's Eminem's Lose Yourself. And this is National's advert. Yes, as we have mentioned before on this show, New Zealand's National Party has been accused of ripping off Eminem, or as they call him, Eminem. And it is unquestionably the lamest rap beef since Lil Wayne's 5-year feud with William H. Macy. Now, the National Party's defence is that they didn't use Eminem, they used a different song. It was revealed in court the name of the song used by National was Eminem-esque.
It's true. The track they used is literally called Eminem-esque. And if you are going to rip off someone else's work, maybe don't include the name of the person you're ripping off. Call it something less obvious, like this may or may not be copyright infringement, or please don't tell anyone about this, or blurred lines. But I am truly thankful that neither side backed down on this, because this court case has been everything I needed right now. Just watch this moment from the trial on Monday.
I'm now going to play the sound recording which embodies the musical work Lose Yourself.
Look, if you had one shot, one opportunity to seize everything you ever wanted, one moment, would you capture it? Just let it slip. Yo, this palms are sweaty.
That's the greatest thing I've ever seen. You know, some define comedy as tragedy plus time, but for me, the purest definition is a middle-aged Kiwi in a robe playing Eminem's Lose Yourself to a completely silent and motionless courtroom. And perhaps my favourite thing about that is this woman's reaction. She's silently questioning every life choice that led her to this moment, and hopefully not regretting a single one of them. But it gets even better because that lawyer for Eminem's music publisher offered his own deep interpretation of the song.
The idea of losing yourself in the moment and not missing opportunities in life is closely associated with the guitar riff at the beginning of the song, and is why the song appeals to both the public and those who wish to influence the public by using it in advertising.
I now want to hear him describe every single iconic rap song in history. When the artist Juvenile uses his incessant drum hitting, it eloquently underlines his central thesis that the young woman in question appears pleasing to the eye, and that he, the singer, would very much appreciate it if she were to back, if you will, that ass up. And look, there is nothing I want more than to spend the whole rest of this show breaking down what is projected to be a 6-day court case. Now, for now, moving on to a quick update regarding New Zealand. Wallaby Fuck Island. Now, you may remember last week we talked about the historically stupid legal battle involving that country's ruling National Party being accused of ripping off the 8 Mile song Lose Yourself by Eminem, or as they call him in New Zealand, Eminem. Our piece was actually brought to the attention of New Zealand's Prime Minister Bill English, the very poorest man's Daniel Craig. And it turns out he is not a fan.
Have you seen the John Oliver piece where he mocks the National Party for allegedly ripping off Eminem?
No, I haven't.
You intend to watch it?
No. You know, for the sake of his audience, I hope it's funny. Some of the stuff I've seen he does isn't very funny.
You really want to do this, Bill? Is this really what you want? Because need I remind you that when your fellow party member, Stephen Joyce, got dick smacked in the mouth by a rubber floppy cock and then suggested someone send the gif over to John Oliver so we can get it over with, we ended that show with a flying dildo palooza. So careful, Bill, because when it comes to Kiwis, Johnny don't play. And Bill English must know that the moment he mentioned my name, I was going to immediately find the stupidest, most humiliating things about him that I could. Like this actual photo of Bill English in a virtual reality headset, which makes him look like a masturbating cyborg. Or this indescribably lame video he made of his exercise routine.
Well, about to head out for what I call a walk-run, where I walk up the hills and run the downhill bits. This is one bit where I run. And bits like this, I walk. I'm still walking, I'm running this bit. This is the bit where you feel fast. This bit makes you feel slow.
You know, after seeing that, I would give anything for Bill English to make a sex tape. Will, I'm about to head in for what I call a penis vagina, where I penis the vagina butts and she vaginas the penis butts. This is the bit where I penis fast, and this is the bit where I penis slow. Stick around, this is going to take a while. But perhaps the worst thing Bill English has ever been responsible for is this recent Facebook post where he writes, "Cooked dinner for the family last night, like if you agree with tin spaghetti on pizza, with photos of fucking canned spaghetti poured all over a revolting pizza he made." And I think I speak on behalf of all humanity when I say no. Hard no there, Bill. I do not agree with canned spaghetti on a pizza, because that is not a thing anybody should be doing. A divorced dad cooking for his kids on the weekend would not put canned spaghetti on a pizza. The caterer for Chef Boyardee's funeral would not put canned spaghetti on a pizza. And let's not forget, Bill, you also added pineapple to that abomination. And that's not dinner, that is, and this is true, an actual hate crime. What the fuck is your problem, Bill? You made that to feed to your family? To your children, Bill? How are you not in prison right now? The point is, I am sorry if our show is not to your liking, Bill English, Prime Minister of New Zealand. Although, to be honest, judging from your pizza choices, if I appealed to someone with your level of taste, I would be absolutely mortified. And you know, it's at times like these that a lyric from the song Lose Yourself comes to mind. Yo, his palms are sweaty, knees weak, arms are heavy. There's vomit on his sweater already. Mum's spaghetti. And the reason those lyrics come to mind is, though, I would honestly rather eat Eminem's vomit spaghetti off his sweater than canned spaghetti and pineapple off one of your garbage pizzas, Bill. And now, this.
And now, a series of terrible pizzas that New Zealand Prime Minister Bill English would probably enjoy. A pizza topped with Skittles, baking soda, and condoms. A pizza topped with Altoids and horse laxatives, and you don't know which is which, so good luck with that. A pizza made by a purebred golden retriever. Good boy. A pizza topped with blueberries, onions, and a printed-out copy of the Wikipedia entry for pizza. And finally, a pizza topped with 25 Blu-rays of 8 Mile. Because fuck you. Bon appetit, Bill. You filthy animal.
There was also voting this week in New Zealand. Now, you may know it as the homeland of Lord, or that place where people who are happier than you go on vacation. Now, on Saturday, they re-elected their Prime Minister, John Key, despite a turbulent campaign, with a major scandal that engulfed him earlier this week.
Rap superstar Eminem's become the latest to take pot shots at our government.
Why is Eminem getting involved? Is he concerned about the South Island's rising wallaby population? If so, good for you, Eminem. Those things are giant rats with pouches. They must be stopped. Unless something else was bothering him.
It's all over this campaign ad.
And the National Party's economic management. New Zealand is heading in the right direction.
But what's wrong with it, say Eminem's publishers, is that the Nats didn't ask if they could use the song.
That's right. The ruling party of New Zealand was accused of ripping off Eminem. And I can't imagine how angry that must have made Eminem. I'd go so far as to say that New Zealand has made an enemy of Eminem. But perhaps the reason it didn't affect the outcome of the election is that the party's campaign manager had this brilliant legal defence.
What's your understanding of the legality of your campaign song?
Oh, we think it's pretty legal. I think these guys are just having a crack and having a bit of an eye for the main chance because it's an election campaign.
Pretty legal? That is not a concept that exists. That's like being sort of dead. I want to see that man as a defence lawyer. Your Honour, my client pleads probably not. Yeah, probably not. 7 correct. So let's move on to New Zealand, the country whose major form of transportation is bungee jumping. Their Prime Minister, John Key, has had a spectacular week.
Peter, a very unusual story breaking here this morning. It involves the Prime Minister, a ponytail and some Pinot Noir.
That is the single greatest news tease I've ever heard. Just take a moment right now at home and imagine a story in which those three things come together, and I guarantee you what you've just come up with is a lot less weird than what actually happened.
John Key has apologised to an Auckland waitress who says he behaved like a bully by repeatedly pulling her ponytail when he came to the place where she worked.
To give you a sense of the detail of what she describes, she says he'd come up behind me when I was ordering at the terminal, tug on my hair and then pretend that his wife Brona had done it. She says that he rounded the corner behind me and commented one time, "That's a very tantalising ponytail."
Oh. If you are a full-grown adult male, there's a very short list of things that you can describe as tantalising without creeping out everyone. There is steak, and that is absolutely it. That's it. That's the only thing. And the crazy thing here is, it turns out this had been going on for a while.
The woman, who's not been identified, says it began in November. She told him to stop in March, but he continued to do it.
She tried to avoid him, even telling his security she was sick of having my hair pulled and one day I'll snap and I'll punch him in the face.
And why do I get the feeling that his security guard's reaction was, "Oh, please do, that would be awesome. We're not allowed to, but we want to." But wait, just wait until you hear his explanation for a grown man pulling a waitress's hair.
There's always lots of horsing around and sort of practical jokes, and, you know, look, that's really all there is to it. I realised she had actually taken offence because it was all in the context of a bit of banter that was going on, and so I, you know, obviously immediately apologised for that. I gave her some mind. She thanked me for that, said, "Look, that's all fine, no drama."
Look, no drama. You can't just pull someone's hair for months, then make it all good with a bottle of wine. You're the Prime Minister of New Zealand, not a Real Housewife of New Jersey. But amazingly, this story gets one step weirder, because then people went back and found other clips of him randomly touching strangers' hair, including this one of him pulling a child's ponytail.
Yeah, OK, well, that's good. That's very sweet.
Do you know who this man is?
Yeah.
Who is he?
A ponytail-pulling Prime Minister, right there.
What are you doing? John Key can't pass any dangling hair without pawing at it. He's more cats than Prime Minister at this point. And the problem is, this completely undermines his authority during any diplomatic negotiations. We'd very much like you to end the sanctions. Yeah, we're not going to do that, and I'll tell you why. You're a creepy individual who pulls women's hair. Oh, yeah, that's a fair point, makes sense. I'll show myself out, bit of banter, no drama. New Zealand. The country that, like a bad edible arrangement, is full of fucking Kiwis. Now, recently, John Key, their Prime Minister, was re-elected, despite, you may remember, having a fight with Eminem, or as they call him in New Zealand, Eminem. Now, Key is now back in office, and he is ready to tackle the most pressing issues facing the country.
You mentioned changing the flag. Is that something you hope to achieve in the next 3 years?
Oh, definitely. You know, we want to have the referendum, and I'd want to embark on the referendum, you know, relatively quickly. I'd like that issue dealt with in 2015.
Yeah, he wants to change the New Zealand flag, or as they call it there, the flag. And he's going to do that with a flag referendum in 2015. Now, why is he going to do this? Well, one reason might be it looks too much like Australia's flag, because that is Australia's flag, and this is New Zealand's flag. Unsurprisingly, this has caused some problems in the past.
There's just a huge confusion factor. So I can tell you as Prime Minister, the number of times I walk over to something and I'm in an international meeting and they sit me down in front of the Australian, you know, flag or the Australian area. It's, you know, it's not funny. It happens all the time.
Oh, it is funny, and that's why it happens all the time. Put him under the Australian flag. He gets so... I want to hear him say flig. Make him say flig. Now, to be fair, John Key has a replacement design in mind. It's this one, which, granted, looks like the flag on a vegetarian pirate ship. But It might actually be inappropriate for a different reason.
John Key originally preferred the more traditional black background with a silver fern, but now says his preference is for a flag that keeps more traditional colours. He denies that has anything to do with its similarity to the flag flown by ISIS.
Oh shit, that is not good. Because if you thought being mistakenly seated under Australia's flag was bad, wait till they put you under the one for ISIS. That's just not funny. It happens all the time. Why is it even here? Look, unfortunately, John Key's even newer new design has also met with some resistance, as he discovered when he went on TV earlier this week.
OK, I'm going to show you something now. Have a look at this.
OK.
This is what you think is great, and I
like
think it is bloody horrible.
Bloody horrible. How are you allowed to speak to your Prime Minister like that? It seems New Zealanders treat their leaders like Americans treat managers at Applebee's. This shrimp is bloody horrible. Take it back. Still, I will say, that is a terrible idea for a flag, which is why we have a few suggestions. First, how about a flag that features two things New Zealand is famous for, such as a bungee-jumping sheep? Or, if you don't like that one, a kiwi bird having sex with a hobbit. Or you know what? It honestly might be simpler just to have a flag with the words, "We are not Australia," written on a white background, although I can't guarantee they won't seat you underneath that just for fun. New Zealand. Australia's Australia. You may recall that last year, New Zealand announced it was redesigning its flag for a very simple reason.
Australia's flag is in the background here. You can see the Union Jack in the left corner against a blue background with white stars. New Zealand's flag is in the foreground. The only distinguishing feature, the stars are red, not white, with fewer points.
Yes, New Zealand's flag is different from the Australian flag in the same way that Ice Ice Baby is different from Under Pressure, which is to say that they're basically the same, but one is clearly worse. Now, this is not a unique problem. Lots of countries have similar flags, Romania and Chad, or Monaco and Indonesia, but nevertheless, New Zealand has opened a flag design contest to the public and received 10,000 entries, which this week they narrowed to a shortlist of just 40, and people do not seem particularly inspired.
Bit of a joke, to be honest.
I think it's turned into a wee bit of a joke. I think most people don't care about it anymore.
You know, maybe 5% of the people are taking it seriously. The rest of us are more concerned about much more serious issues than the flag.
Which one would you pick?
Probably that one.
Why's that?
I guess because it's really similar to the one we've got already.
Wow. That is negative. You are going about this with the enthusiasm of a distant uncle buying a birthday present for a 2-year-old nephew. Look, I just need something that has 3 colours and takes up physical space. I don't know what it likes. And I think I know why this has not captured the public imagination there. The 40 flags on the shortlist are pretty boring, which is ridiculous, because the government put all the flag designs that they rejected online, and some of them are incredible. For instance, how did this one not make the cut? The title, its actual title, is New Zealand's True Nature, and it looks like a very confused child's depiction of where they think babies come from. That would be an incredible flag. Now, many of the other great designs feature the kiwi bird, which ordinarily I would not advise because it looks less like a bird and more like a dumb fat mouse who got his face stuck on a straw. But it is hard not to get behind this actual flag design of a kiwi blasting lasers from its eyes. You would remember that flag. If you ever saw that flag, it would be impossible not to immediately pledge allegiance to it. But I have to say, the greatest flag design of all, and I cannot believe this did not make the shortlist, was this one, titled Explosion. And the artist's explanation for his design is, because New Zealanders like eggs and explosions are cool. Please, New Zealand, I'm begging you, when it comes time to vote for your new flag, write Explosion down, because that's the greatest thing I've ever seen. And now, this.
And now, 6 more actual flag designs submitted to the New Zealand government with descriptions of what they look like. Bird in police floodlight failing field sobriety test. Flag that's just 1 boot short of a swastika. Unauthorized Hasidic Mr. Potato Head. Kiwi going through heroin withdrawal. a cat having the world's most boring cat dream, and Kiwi dressed as the Fonz for some reason.